What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid, coming at you with another Destiny video. Today, it's the day after the Wrath of the Machine raid. Rise of Iron raid is in the books, the world record holders are already out there, and what I wanted to do was to go through and walk you through Vosik the Archpriest, at least how we did it. Now, I want to say this right off the bat. I guarantee you that 99.9% of all people that watch this video probably know more about the raid than I do right at this moment. The only experience I have in the raid is my own experience right here. I haven't got to watch any other YouTube videos or any other Twitch streams on the raid at all. Everything that we did here was 100% blind, so I'm just getting it out there. There are going to be so many more evolving strategies and new strategies for this raid. I'm just telling you what ended up working out for us, and it was a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoy this video, and you're going to get to see the loot, and you're going to get the secret monitor that we ended up seeing and finding, which ended up apparently being a big, huge thing in Destiny. So for starters, you've got Vosik the Archpriest, and he's just chilling out there in the middle, and he's got all these TV screens in behind him. And you can see that that top left one was actually getting shot at. That is one of the crucial pieces that you need to worry about in this raid. So what ends up happening is, after a little bit of time, there are some SIVA charges that end up dropping down into the arena. And you can hear it with that little ding, and you can see the icon whenever they drop in. Whenever this happens, all three of our teammates ended up picking up the charges and throwing them at Vosik at the same time, or roughly at the same time. We did a countdown, and we found that whenever we hit Vosik with all of the charges at pretty much the same time, it dealt more damage. Now, pretty much you have to go through that 3 times. You have to go through that 3 times before you get to a damage stage. And after you throw off those charges, there's going to be some static that you end up hearing in one of those TV monitors in the back. You can barely see it on my screen, but there was one that was on the right-hand side. And whenever those monitors come out, they kind of do a countdown. And if you do not shoot out those monitors, you will wipe the entire team. So that is absolutely vital that somebody's paying attention to those monitors. And again, those monitors come up after you throw the orbs and try to damage Vosik's shields. So number one thing to keep in mind is damage those monitors. Whenever somebody calls it out, left, right, wherever it is, make sure you're taking a look up there and getting rid of the monitor. Now, I didn't look up at the monitors all that much because my teammates were so good at calling it out on their respective sides and just shooting those things. But whenever you need to, shoot them out. It's going to be very important. Now, it should only take you 3 rounds of charges in order to take down his shield. If you happen to miss one like we did, don't worry, you can still continue on, you're not going to wipe. You can see right here we're going to get down that last little bit of health, and after that it is damage phase. Don't worry about enemies, they will despawn. What we ended up doing was going into the middle platform and kind of treating it like a mini vault of glass. So we have weapons of light bubble, and then it's all about shooting out those snipers and dealing out the big time damage. Though he's going to drop 2 more SIVA charges, pick those things up, and get the free extra damage, because it's at least another 100,000 points of damage. You might as well pick those up and throw them out, and after that there's going to be 2 rooms that are glowing on random places, and you need to get in there and you need to shoot that door latch on the side. And if you don't, you're going to die, and somehow I died inside that room. That was definitely 100% a glitch. Dying to the critical SIVA density, 100% a glitch for sure. I was completely in that room, so I have no idea what was going on there. But we died and we continued. We continued because it is the normal raid, so that glitch isn't going to wipe us. Really hoping something like this does not happen in the hard raid, because you could clearly see I was in the room, the door was shut, everybody else lived. Not exactly sure why I was the only one that died. But we're up and ready to go through round 2. So let's talk about a little bit of the strategy. Number one thing, we split up and we had buddy systems. 2 on each side. We had left, middle, and right hand side. The middle is a little bit chaotic. I am so glad that I'm a Stormcaller. Holy crap, there are so many ads that are going on in this raid in general. Stormcaller was so nice to have. And honestly, any of those Void major captains that come out, of which there are a lot throughout the raid, the Void Stormtrance ends up taking him down pretty nice, pretty easily, because he gets stunned, he basically can't do anything, and you just walk right over him and it can take him down. Thank you, Bungie, for that super buff. That was extremely nice. I love that. And you can see we're just taking down some of the other enemies. Here comes that Void Major Captain, like I said, right there, and he's not going to pose any problem at all. Easily gets taken down. If you don't have your Stormcaller in there, then make sure that you're using your heavy weapons, whether it's Gjallarhorn, or some people were using the Dark Drinker as well, their swords, in order to deal out the damage to those captains really quickly. Now, somebody ended up going down on this side, so I just jumped over to make sure it was a clean avenue for that SIVA charge throw, and boom, there it goes. We're taking down Vosik. He's still got a little bit left of his shield, but I think it's just going to be a practice thing. The more that you do the raid, the more that you get practice throwing those charges, doing the callouts, and getting all the damage at one time, the easier it's going to be in order to take down the shield in just 3 throws, and then get over to the damage step. So let's talk about those rooms. Those rooms end up glowing, and the glowing rooms are the ones you want to run into, and then are going to have that door latch that end up closing down and protecting you from the critical SIVA density. So that's why we started running into the middle. We had our Titan in the middle now, and he ended up popping that Weapons of Light bubble, and then we were able to look around 360 to see what rooms were actually glowing. So whenever we come in here, somebody's going to be on the lookout to see what room ends up glowing as I back off and grab the charge, and somebody else has to grab the charge. You're going to want 2 people to run back and grab those charges. Again, free 100,000 points of damage. It would be silly to not grab these and throw them at Vosik. The other people are now looking for what room to run into, and they're calling out which side to run to. We prioritized any rooms on the left-hand side of the map. We figured it was better to just prioritize that, and then all run into the left side of the map together. And you can see I made it in, the doors closed, I didn't die by any glitch that time, and that's a good thing. Now the fun part was actually trying to figure out that mechanic of the raid. Initially, we thought that whenever we ran into the rooms, that's when the rooms started glowing. We were definitely wrong. There are several times that we ended up taking a charge into the room, seeing if that would end up exploding in the room and dismantling or closing down a doorway or something like that. That didn't work. I had the idea that maybe we have to just throw both the SIVA charges into the glowing room and it would explode in there and just cause the SIVA to overload. That didn't work either. We also ran into the room with the SIVA charges, seeing if there was any type of square prompt to close the doorway. That didn't work. It was only by luck that we saw that we ended up having to shoot that thing, and we just used the SIVA charges as damage on Vosik. So that's one of the fun little inside tidbits of what the raid is like whenever you're doing it 100% blind. We had no idea about the strategies or tips or anything like that to do in the raid. It was really fun and really interesting. Now those shanks that are coming down from the ceiling instead of the dregs, those exploding and repeater shanks, they actually start coming down when Vosik is at 50% health. We just happen to start doing out more damage to Vosik whenever we started grouping up in the middle and using the Weapons of Light bubble. So that's how I know they come down at 50%, even though he's roughly 25 to 30 to 33% health left. So those are going to be a little bit different. Those exploding shanks, they can explode and then kill the repeating shanks whenever they're in the air. The repeating shanks can shoot at you as they're lowering down, so they're just a little bit tricky. You want to make sure that you get them, and obviously you don't want to get exploded by any of the exploding shanks. If you happen to be on a Stormcaller, the electricity is going to melt the exploding shanks, and they will not explode on you. So that's always really nice. Again, here we are in the middle. It's damage phase. We've got our Weapons of Light bubble, and Vosik is getting stunned. He's got one heck of a stun animation, so just be on the lookout for that. Whenever the SIVA charges are out, I'm running back, I'm going to grab mine. My teammates continue to shoot. You can see he's got such a low amount of health left. My charge wasn't even needed. The other charge blew him up. That's it. That was us taking down Vosik, the first raid boss of Wrath of the Machine. I ended up getting a Quantaplasm, but this video is not over yet. This video is not over yet, so hold tight, because we've still got some more stuff to showcase as far as what we ended up finding out. Because we weren't just running around and doing the boss. In some of the downtime, whenever we were just regrouping or taking a little bit of a break, we ended up running around into some of these side rooms looking for what to do. And Zilla ended up seeing a fan there, and we ended up jumping through the fan. Well, after you end up killing the boss, the fan blades are gone. So despite all of our difficulties of jumping up there with a fan blade in the way, they get all taken away after you kill the boss. So you can go ahead and jump up here, and there is a special SIVA Monitor. Now, I ended up tweeting this out as soon as we found out about it, and people ended up saying that this was actually very key and very crucial to getting the final secret chest, of which there are apparently a lot of secret chests in this raid. This raid, there are still a lot of things that I need to find out about it, and I'm really excited. This monitor ends up saying like Bungie 777, pretty typical Bungie type stuff. You can see there was 777 in the corner. Again, pretty cool. We ended up activating that thing. And then we ended up leaving. And what we thought at the time was whenever we activated that there was actually a chest that ended up spawning in the middle. But you could see if you actually rewinded a little bit in this video, I ran by this chest as we went over to that monitor room. And then what you can do is use your SIVA cache key and get another drop from this encounter. So it's kind of interesting that I got a second Quantoplasm, and pretty much everybody that used their key ended up getting a duplicate of what already dropped. So I'm really curious if that's going to be a thing, or if that was a little bit of a bug and a glitch. Now finally, to close out the video, let's show you the 2 Quantoplasms that I picked up. It is the Raid Shotgun, and honestly, it's been pretty fun to use so far. I haven't taken it into PvP at all. In fact, I haven't PvP'd at all in the Rise of Iron. But what ends up happening is you get this running interference perk, so whenever you get a kill in Battle Runner triggers, then you're going to have increased movement speed, and you're going to have increased armor. So that sounds like a lot of fun. It doesn't get max range, it's got pretty nice impact, it doesn't get max range, but with my Ophidian aspect that I have on my Warlock, this thing reloads quickly, all my weapons handle quickly, I like it. That was the first boss. That was Vosik in Wrath of the Machine, a lot of fun. Anyway, guys and gals, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Rise of Iron, and I'll see you around in Destiny. Quantoplasm me.